Men on the internet, rock women on internet, I teach you good lesson about trig identities. Trig identities come in many forms. You have tangent, you have sine over cosine, or tangent, you have cotangent, which is the opposite, which is cosine over sine. You have sine, which is 1 over cosecant. You have cosine, which is 1 over secant. You have tangent, which is 1 over cosine. These are the reciprocal identities, and these are the identities for tangent and cotangent. Cosecant is just 1 over sine. So this is a reciprocal. See, sine is just 1 over cosine because cosine is 1 over sine. And secant is 1 over cosine. And cotangent is 1 over tangent or cosine over sine, depending on what situation you're trying to apply it to. Because when I'm talking about that, I mean when you are doing a solved problem, sometimes it requires you to get to a single identity. Like, for example, sine, right? So how do we get to sine? Like, let's say this one, secant squared. This is how you prove identities. This is how you prove an identity. So this works for proven identities. For now, let's just focus on the proving part. So we have secant squared theta minus 1 over secant squared theta equals to sine squared theta. All right, this might be hard at first, but it's actually really not. So first you have to actually look back at your identities, but you have to like solve so many of these that these identities will be imprinted in your brain. So first you look, okay, what is secant squared theta minus 1 equal to? Well, you would see that secant squared theta minus 1, we go down, you look, secant squared theta, it is equal to tangent squared theta. So in this instant, I look at it and I'm like, okay, all right, tangent, how is tangent going to help me? Do I have secant squared theta? Do I have a secant squared theta that can save me from this situation? Like just a normal secant squared theta? Actually, I don't. So here, you know that secant is actually, what is it? It is 1 over cosine. So when you have it to the power, you just basically apply these. So essentially what you're trying to get to is this side of the equation or this side of the equation, depending on how you solve it. But normally it's this side of the equation. Try to find an answer that is equal. Like this. So first we see, okay, what was our secant? What was our secant squared minus 1? We know that secant squared minus 1 is tangent squared theta, right? Which is this tangent squared over what is secant squared? Secant squared is just tangent, I think, right? I mean, not really. You don't even need it. Wait, no, it's not. You don't need to convert that. You actually don't. So with this, you could say, okay, secant is 1 over cosine. 1 over cosine squared, because it is squared. So you would go like this. You would go, okay, what is tangent? Tangent, we know, is sine over cosine. So sine squared theta over cosine squared theta. So you just apply the squared to this, and then you have to convert it to the sine and cosine so you could cancel stuff out. Because our goal here is to cancel these variables out. So here we see, okay, oh my god, we have a cosine, we have a cosine here, so we can do this. So when you want to simplify this, I don't know how to like do this, so I'm going to show this to you on paper. So here, how I imagine it is sine squared theta over cosine squared theta. And then it's the reciprocal of this. So reciprocal and multiply. There we go. So we reciprocal this. we go cosine squared theta over 1 times. Now we have something that we can cross out. We cross this out, and now we have sine squared theta. We got our answer. We got our one single identity. And now sine squared theta is equal to sine squared theta. See? That checks out. That is how you prove an identity. This is the basic fundamentals of how you prove an identity. Now, most of the time, these methods might not check out because your teacher expects you to know how to factor, which I honestly, too dumb brain to understand. So I teach you anyway. We have big identity, cosine squared x minus 5 cosine x plus 2 equals to 0. Oh no, sorry, that's a 0. Okay, we look at this question. We see, okay, what is this? What am I looking at? Okay, we have like terms. We have 2 cosines, right? Now, essentially, you should look at this and rewrite it as a variable. So you should write 2x, which is 2x. So 2x squared, because this is squared, 2x squared minus 5x, just 5x, yeah, plus 2, and then equals to 0. Now, we need to factor this. Okay, so what I just look is guess and check. So this always goes here first. And then we have a minus sign here, so the minus goes here. And then we have a plus sign here. I know that minus is plus, so I also add a minus here, but I also put an x here because that's always how it goes with these questions. And we have our last variable, which is 2. Now, and we need to guess and check to see what factors to this. So I'm assuming that it is 1. Wait, let me try this. 2 times 2, 2x squared minus 4x, and then we got the negative x, and then we got the, what's it called, the positive 3. So no, not positive 3, oopsie. We got the positive 2, and these go, so when that goes, this turns into 2x squared plus minus 5x plus 2. Okay, that checks out. So now essentially what we have is our answer, which is cosine, what did we have? Cosine of x is equal to, we have x1, we have 1 over 2, and then we have cosine of x is also equal to 2. We have our both answers right here. We go to the next page to hopefully solve more. You are also expected to do such questions like this, like the same factoring questions. Sine squared theta equals to 1. You have sine squared theta. Now you have to instantly get rid of just this. Just get rid of the squared, get rid of the underneath it. So essentially what you do is you just square root this, you bring the 1, and then you have to also divide by 2. So when you divide by 2, and then you also have to root this, which is, unfortunate, because now we have sine theta equals 1 over root 2. Now, how we get rid of this is by rationalizing the denominator. So you just multiply it by root 2 to get root 2 out of the denominator. You want the root 2 out of there. So you do that, and then you bring it out. This is really basic algebra, but I would want to go over it because the reason you're clicking on this video is because you caveman math and you need help with math. so I teach. Then you know it is plus or minus root 2. Because when you simplify this, it is, wait, okay, that the root 2 goes above, and then that becomes 2, because root of 4 is 2. And now you have root 2 over 2, right? So this basically means root 2 plus, and then root 2 minus. All right, we know that it's 2. All right, now we go to another problem, which is more important, slightly more important. There are very important things in this lesson, and I want to be able to cover all of them. So we're gonna go back to another proving question, and these might be hard for some people. So let's go with prove that cosine squared theta plus cosine squared theta times tangent squared theta. This is actually a simplify. Oops, I forgot about what proof I wanted to solve. But we're going to simplify this. This is a simplified question. So essentially what you look at here first is you want to factor this, because factoring important. Okay, find GCF. We found GCF. If you want to find GCF, you look, okay, like terms. We have found like terms. Oh my God, big revelation, yes? When we found out like terms, we go and we say, okay, cosine squared is our like term. So when we do that, we have 1, because this would be 1, and then we have, well, plus, because there's nothing there, tangent squared theta. Close. Now we have this basic here. How do we simplify this really? Simplify this. So this, we have to look back trig identity. This is a trig identity. Oh my God, we look back. We have to memorize this, my friend. 1 plus tangent squared is secant squared. So cosine squared times secant squared. Oh my God, secant squared theta. We found it. Now, what you do is, what is secant? Oh my God, I don't know what secant is. Secant is always 1 over cosine. And what, because this is squared, we have 1 over cosine squared theta. Now, we have to multiply this by cosine squared. What does that give us? That gives us cosine squared theta over cosine square, wait, let me just theta that, theta, which is 1, literally 1. We have simplified the question. We have simplified it, and it is gone, done, into oblivion. I hope this short video was helpful to many people. Tune in for the next one. Sorry for posting so late. I had AP exam. I see you boys later. Good learning.